Our cherished viewers, our loyal viewers, you are welcome once again to the Bitter Truth Show. You are welcome to the Bitter Truth Show. If today is the first time that you are watching this presentation on Ghana Band News Facebook channel, we will humbly plead with you to like Ghana Band News Facebook page. We want you to be part of this conversation. Drop your comments, share it, be part of our conversation. Collectively, let us build our beloved Ghana together. Remember, the former president Nana Addo Akufo-Addo's said, "Let us be citizens, not spectators." It was a good call. Be part of the Bitter Truth presentation on Ghana Band News Facebook channel. If you are watching us on our YouTube channel, Ghana Band News, we will humbly plead with you to subscribe to Ghana Band News page. Be active family member of the Ghana Band News YouTube channel. Let us hear your views and opinions. Drop them in the comment sections. As you subscribe, we'll encourage you to share it to reach others. Today, what we are serving you with is about the recent statement by the United States of America President Donald Trump, hinting that US aid will be cut. And the moment Donald Trump hinted that US aid will be cut, a number of African country leaders are worried, are crying, including Ghana. Ghana is not excluded in it. And then we sat down as a platform, the Bitter Truth. The question we keep asking is that, didn't Ghana, under the leadership of former President Nana Akufo-Addo, launched Ghana Beyond Aid agenda for the country and taking it beyond to Africa leaders? Former President Nana Akufo-Addo launched Ghana Beyond Aid agenda. If that was a policy by His Excellency the former President Nana Akufo-Addo, who tagged himself self-acclaimed competent Nana Akufo-Addo with competent appointees, the question, the bitter truth we are asking, now that Donald Trump, the United States of America President, threatened to cut aid to the world and especially to the third world countries, why the hue and cry and thus has become of a necessity for the Bitter Truth platform to interrogate, to ask what has been the impact of former President Akufo-Addo's Ghana Beyond Aid agenda for the country and for Africa. And this is what this unadulterated platform, Bitter Truth platform, is serving you with. And we will be glad to invite you to the table of the discussion, of the conversation. Be part of it. So, We have titles today's presentation as Failed Akufo-Addo'S Ghana Beyond Aid Agenda. The irony of a country beyond aid now crying over foreign aid cards. What a shame. President Mahama shouldn't make such a mistake. We said today's title for the presentation is Failed Akufo-Addo'S Ghana Beyond Aid Agenda. The irony of a country beyond aid now crying over foreign aid cards. What a shame. President Mahama shouldn't repeat this mistake. This is what we are serving you with, and we want you to be part of this conversation. Don't leave yourself out. Let all be citizens and not spectators. This is the bitter truth. Let us go and listen to His Excellency the former President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. His exact words about the Ghana Beyond Aid Agenda. Let us take opportunity to listen to him very critically, carefully. What former President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo said about Ghana Beyond Aid Agenda will do for Ghana, and after that we will ask what ought to be asked, the questions that we need to ask him. Let's take a lesson to him.
Let me state a Ghanaian irony. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana Beyond Aid is meant to be more than a slogan. It is meant to propel us into the frame of mind that would quicken our pace of development. It is meant to change our mindset from one of dependency to one of achieving our destiny. It is meant to put us in charge of our own affairs and make us truly independent. Above all, Ghana Beyond Aid will give us the respect and dignity we deserve. Let us believe in ourselves. We can do it, especially in this new decade, in this new century, in which hope, optimism, and progress will define the unfolding Ghanaian reality.
We've just heard the former President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, the self-acclaimed competent president Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. His exact words about what the Ghana Beyond Aid Agenda seeks to bring to our beloved country Ghana. We heard him. After listening to him, one would say the Ghana Beyond Aid Agenda was not wrong. It was a beautiful agenda, because since 1957, Ghana's independency, or since Ghana's independence days, Ghana has depended on foreign aids, on Bretton Woods institutions' supports. But the question, the bitter truth we are asking, what has been the impact of those aids to this country, to our beloved mother Ghana? Should we continue in that direction? And the question that I strongly believe you out there watching and listening to the bitter truth show, you will agree that no, this is not the way to go. So when you listen to the issues that the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo raised with regard to the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda, they are lofty, beautiful, brilliant ideas. But the question we ask is that after the launch of Ghana Beyond Aid, what can the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo show to Ghanaians that this has been the positive impact of Ghana Beyond Aid? He mentioned that the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda is to change the mentality of the citizens of Ghana from aid dependency to independence mentality, that as a country we will shift, we will move away from the mentality of seeking aid from the global community, from the Bretton Woods institutions. The yabeje the yabaye lala sulala that oman Ghana ne mum hino yabedi yana hodo yabotum ya hwe ya ho ne enyim nyama oman Ghana hia nananam amanam titsi abrofo nanam botum wodidam enyizi nye enyim nyama nana ama oman Ghana. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo no yo mampanyin no se odi Ghana Beyond Aid boba adzenenen o se dem boba ya yankoye omana ye omana yesresra ade fi amanode fi abrofo ho yankofa yanen chense enko nenam enya lala sulala nande yebisa omampanyin a wasum ewie Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo de dem adasho no so inenenen dem Ghana Beyond Aid and she shall not do bad sabi abanin faso no zabre Ghana. We are saying the irony of a country beyond aid now crying over foreign aid cards. What a shame. Let His Excellency the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo point to Ghanaians the positive impact, if indeed after the launch of the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda, as he alluded to, as he claimed, whether indeed he was able to help Ghanaians to shift from that aid dependency mentality to the dignity, the independent mentality of Ghanaians. That yes, can we say, as a former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who governs this country for 2 terms, 8 years 2 terms, can His Excellency the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo confidently tell Ghanaians that his Ghana Beyond Aid agenda has succeeded, has made us proud, the dignity that he espoused in the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda, and also is to fast track Ghana's development? Is he not ashamed of his governance, that when the time came for him to assent to the LGBTQ bill, Sabi, when it was time, when our parliamentarians passed the LGBTQ bill, and it was time for the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, a president who was championing that yes, Ghana needs to move from aid dependency mentality to independent mentality, so that the dignity, the respect that the global community ought to give to Ghana will be achieved. Ghana can attract that dignity, that sovereignty of respect and of a dignity of a country like Ghana. what was his excuse? We heard Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government alluded that, look, if he has sent and his appointees, if President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has sent to the LGBTQ, Ghana will lose AIDS that we were benefited. Thus, we are asking, the Bitter Truth platform was asking the former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his office, at the time they were canvassing and advancing such a useless argument that Ghana will lose aid when we are sent to the LGBTQ. The question is, what was Ghana Beyond AIDS agenda that His Excellency the former president, the self-acclaimed competent president, launched? What was the vision, one of the vision of that Ghana Beyond AIDS agenda? You see, this is the reason. This platform, the Bitter Truth platform, we have titled today's presentation that failed Akufo-Addo's Ghana Beyond Aid agenda. We said failed Akufo-Addo Ghana Beyond Aid agenda. I mean, the president even forgotten that he launched a policy. The Ghana Beyond Aid policy was launched on the 13th June 2018, and we are challenging the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his office to tell Ghanaians, we can count right from 2020 down to 2024. How many times did you hear our former president, the so-called self-acclaimed competent former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, made mention of Ghana Beyond Aid agenda in his public engagement? How many times did you hear Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, as then president, encourage Ghanaian in his public speeches, in his public discourse, reminding the citizens of Ghana Beyond Aid agenda? If the president himself forgotten, if he forgot that he launched a policy called Ghana Beyond Aid agenda, then you can think of what his so-called competent appointees will be doing. So, the Bitter Truth, we are not surprised that the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda was a disaster, was a failure. We are not surprised because for us, we think His Excellency the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was not serious with that policy. At one breath, we want to move away from age dependency mentality, and another time we were crying that when we ascend to the LGBTQ, we will lose AIDS. Just compare the two. Where lies that conviction that you believed in a policy agenda that you introduced? This is the reason, one of the reasons we say, look, Akufo-Addo's Ghana Beyond Aid agenda was a fluke, was a scam. We are challenging His Excellency's office, the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to enumerate the benefits that Ghana Beyond Aid agenda gave to this country. Let's stop the joke. If governance is about rhetorics, the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo would have been par excellence, but he was a disaster as a president for the Republic of Ghana and then the Fourth Republic. He is one of a disastrous president that the country has had. Let truth be told. Remember, the show is the Bitter Truth. Truth is like a bitter pill. It must be swallowed when the need arises. Be citizens, not spectators. Listen
When I talk of Ghana or Africa beyond aid, therefore, I'm simply insisting that we use our resources to build robust economies that will propel us into the ranks of the developed nations of the world. I'm insisting that we stop believing that our deliverance will come from benefactors. I'm insisting that we take our fate in our own hands and work to bring us to where we do not look for or expect charity. I'm insisting that we would only become truly independent when we're economically independent. This is not an unrealistic aspiration. Our first priority must be to change the structures of the economies on the continent, which are dependent largely on the production and export of raw materials. It is this reliance on raw material exports that feeds our dependence on foreign aid and subjects us to the politics of external powers. We cannot be doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. We do not have to accept someone's definition of Africa or Ghana. We must define and craft our own destiny. The good thing is that it has been done before. We can and must learn from others, and we should chart our own course and change the African narrative. Africa, I am confident, will be a wealthy and dynamic member of the global community, making her own unique contribution to the growth of world civilization. May God bless Mother Africa and us all. When I talk of Ghana or Africa,
We have heard His Excellency the former President Nana Akufo-Addo carrying the Ghana Beyond Aid policy beyond Ghana to Africa, challenging the African leaders to embrace the Ghana Beyond Aid policy to become Africa Beyond Aid. Oh, come on. Let us ask ourselves, this platform is challenging the office of the former President Nana Akufo-Addo, that what was the impact of Ghana Beyond Aid, what he learned in his own backyard in this country before carrying it to Africa to make so much noise, to make so much publicity about it. Oh, this platform, the Bitter Truth platform, we are saying, if governance is about rhetorics, former President Akufo-Addo would have been described as par excellence. If governance is about rhetorics, making noise, speeches, brilliant speeches, our former President Nana Akufo-Addo would have been beyond par excellence. But that is not the reality. Governance is a serious business. This platform, the Bitter Truth, we are asking Nana Akufo-Addo, the former president, and his office, what was the impact of Ghana Beyond Aid before talking about Africa Beyond Aid? You started something, you didn't even see to its achievement that it has worked back home before you carry it to Africa, so that as you carry it to Africa, your compatriots, your African leaders can point to, you have a clear evidence that, look, yes, Ghana was able to achieve it, succeeded in it. So if I am bringing it to your attention as African community, we can work it out, we can achieve it, it is workable. What you introduced in Ghana was even a total disaster of a failure, yet you are talking about Africa Beyond Aid. It is so sad that the confidence and the faith that Ghanaians we had in our former president Nana Akufo-Addo, but he let us down big time. Nana Akufo-Addo disappointed this country. So look, if indeed Ghana Beyond Aid has succeeded, when Donald Trump made mention that he's going to cut US aid, we shouldn't be crying. We should be clapping for our former president Nana Akufo-Addo. If indeed Ghana Beyond Aid had made Ghana self-reliance, if he had moved Ghana from aid dependency mentality to self-independent mentality, the dignity that he espoused, that yes, this is what he wants to achieve for Ghana, after Donald Trump has threatened to cut US aid, we wouldn't be crying. We shouldn't. We should have rather be clapping for our former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for taking decisive and positive policies, implementing positive policies that has moved Ghana from aid dependency mentality to self-dependent mentality. Kayetumi yahwe ya no ho za edua wo fie Ghana beyond aid agenda no mpo sabe wa tonsum wa nye dwuma adza ko bibi mane mu African leader ko dwowe ni mu ho ze di wo fie no hwe siese wo fie so siese mo yeye ya enkanda yasi Donald Trump kade mbo wozo bua oye ebibi mane nanan enda wo fa mba nanan nka yensu nka ya mpachaw enka yebobonse ma former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo sende wetum wa aboa oman Ghana ma yefi adisrese ho mandanyanara ya ho su oso hinegwar yetum yahwa nyana ho bande yembi se yan ho da message from 2020 to 2024 after Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo upper Ghana beyond aid policy shishano ho tamanana empendu wa hinetse Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo wa bro kasa wo begom na wa bo oye Ghana beyond aid nhihye ho mpo wa bodo wa kan wasam onno mpo na ne wie free there wa padwumedi bi otedam no hotam let alone na soafo o say no kwar yawen ne kan yakana Nana Addo say Ghana fo yanye timamofo mama yanye bohwe adzefo dwumedi arehwe den oye no kwarwen panyifo say no kwar ne kan oya kana oya win wona baka no kwari ya baka ende Donald Trump say mbo wazo gbo bibi man ne won fam bane ne e bibi man asrafo mpanyimfo leaders worusu Ghana ya kan ho ya boy ne brayer Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo odi Ghana beyond aid boba adene so ohwe modi dwuma obo brayer ya nkyanya ne hyebrenye ya to ne tefe bedum ye bisa o mampanyina wa so mewie oda begwe Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo na so in office message on country Ghana for on church and for so obua Ghana ma yenye fi Ghana beyond aid agenda no mu sabi wo mayan kan no current yan mpanyifo ne da minti na yese or you failed Akufo-Addo Ghana beyond aid agenda. Take it or leave it. This is what this platform believes in. Let's begin to speak to it, and this is the reason why we are saying it's a shame that if indeed we have succeeded, if Ghana has succeeded, Ghana should not be crying now that Donald Trump is threatening to cut aid to Africa, to third world countries. We shouldn't be crying. We should have rather be applauding our former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Indeed, if his Ghana beyond aid had succeeded, but it was a disaster of a failure. Let truth be told. Truth is bitter. Thus is the show you are watching. Remember, it is the bitter truth. Just listen.
The committee has been working. We decided to form 7-member committees to look into this whole idea of Ghana beyond aid, so that we would be very clear where we are going and where our targets are. The committee has done its work, and we've put all together into a strategic document. We also decided ab initio that we'll have a charter out of this strategic document, which will be a 2-page document for easy reading, to be displayed in offices and that kind of thing, whilst the whole document is what we'll look at and implement. Your Excellency, we also said that for a buy-in of the whole country, this document must be laid before Parliament, so that we discuss it in detail and seek the opinion and views of all the candidates reps in Parliament. The committee.
We just heard Osafo Mafo, who chaired Ghana Beyond Aid Agenda Committee. They spent Ghana's hard and scarce resources to set up a committee, and we heard what Osafo said in his presentation that this is to have all the citizenry buy in, to carry the countries along, the citizens along of the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda. It must be laid in Parliament. It must be, the document must be a bit placed in offices so that everybody will know what Ghana Beyond Aid agenda is all about. Me say the former president Nana Akufo-Addo even forgot that he dreamt he had a policy called Ghana Beyond Aid agenda, let alone his appointees. We are challenging them to come and show Ghanaians the positive impact, the importance, the benefit that agenda. Whether we have succeeded, the agenda has moved Ghana from aid dependency that we can now look after our own and we can be proud of. This is a challenge the Bitter Truth platform we are sending to the former president Nana Akufo-Addo and his office and the NPP party. They should prove to Ghanaians this is the bitter truth. We heard what Osafo said. You see, we are a country of jokers. Our leaders, and this is the reason. Sometimes let's blame the media, because the media has been too silent. The media has been too lazy, because we should have been interrogating we should have been challenging the government. You introduce policy, what is the evaluation timeline? What timeline are you looking at? Why did we fail? The media failed to ask the former president Nana Akufo-Addo the impact of those policies. Let the media take the blame. That is why even the traditional media, they are continuing losing their relevance. But let us change. Let us remember and remind His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama never ever to repeat this mistake.
Hey, crying, oh, I don't know, Trump has removed money. He said he's not giving us any more money. Watu wanalia. Why are you crying? It's not your government, it's not your country. He has no reason to give you anything. I mean, you don't pay taxes in America. He is appealing to his people. Shauri yenu bwana.
Kenyatta.
This is a wake-up call for you to say, okay, what are we going to do to help ourselves? Instead of crying, tujiulize, what are we going to do? Haya ametoa hiyo pesa, sasa tutafanya namna gani jameni? What are we going to do? Yeah? To support ourselves. Because nobody is going to continue holding out a hand there to give you. It is time for us to use our resources for the right things. We are the ones who are using them for the wrong thing. Hey.
You just heard the president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, telling his colleague African leaders, why are you crying now that Donald Trump is threatening to cut foreign aids, US aids? Why are you crying? Because you don't pay tax in the US. Your African citizens don't pay tax in the US. Sabi, it is time for our African leaders to put their thinking cap on, to reason, to use the scarce resources of the continent for better policies and programs. Uhuru Kenyatta was right, was apt. African leaders have disappointed us, and it must be told. We are supposed to tell them. Let truth be told. Okay? What's the truth is like a bitter pills. One ought to swallow it when the need arises. Also, we must begin to speak the truth. African leaders, they have let the continent down big time. Me say, our former president, when we talk about Ghana Beyond Aid, Akufo-Addo's Ghana Beyond Aid, for Ghana was a disaster, was a failure. You can take it or leave it, but this platform, the bitter truth, this is what we are talking about. And we are urging that, look, President Mahama cannot repeat this and should never repeat this mistake. We will not spare him. Ghanaians will not spare President John Dramani Mahama, because he had the benefits to learn from the bad governance of former president, self-acclaimed former president Akufo-Addo and his appointees.
I was just reading. U.S. farmers are beginning to complain because USAID was the biggest mopper of excess food for food aid to Africa. And USAID is not doing the auctions that mops up the excess U.S. food. And so the U.S. farmers are complaining. But it's an opportunity for Africa to increase food production. And so if that aid stops coming, we would do the investments that are necessary to make our farmers more productive so that we can establish food security in Africa instead of waiting for those US aid.
We just heard His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama at that international forum saying that what is happening in US should be a blessing in disguise for the African continent, for African leaders to begin to think properly, to begin to implement good policies. And this is the reason we are saying that President John Dramani Mahama should not repeat the mistake of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, immediate past president. He cannot afford to fail. We are urging him and we will encourage him to implement policies that will help this country, that the his colleague African leaders can learn from. Fortunately, President Mahama is a farmer by himself, and this is the time that his government needs to partner farmers, partner even churches, challenge churches to take up into land, large plantation, go into agric. His agric minister must partner, challenge, have a proper program with churches to go into large farm plantations to secure food for this country. This is the bitter truth. This is the reason we are saying that His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama should not ever repeat those mistakes of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Today, the title of the presentation, the Bitter Truth Show, is Failed Akufo-Addo's Ghana Beyond Aid Agenda. The irony of a country beyond aid now crying over foreign aid cards. What a shame. President Mahama shouldn't repeat this mistake. Thank you for watching the show. If today is the first time you've joined the show, Ghana Bad News, the Bitter Truth Show on Ghana Bad News on YouTube channel, we are pleading, humbly pleading with you, subscribe to Ghana Bad News YouTube channel. Drop your comments, let's hear from you. Be active participants of the Bitter Truth Show. Send us your comments, share the link to reach others. If you are watching us on Facebook channel, the Ghana Bad News Facebook channel, like the page, share it, drop your comment, let's hear from you. You are part of this family. You are the reason we bring you an adulterated Bitter Truth Show. This is the Bitter Truth. May God bless you. May He keep you out of trouble. So we come your way with another authentic Bitter Truth Show. We say goodbye.